this is Jenny from Just Being Me, and you're listening to the Learning to Love Yourself podcast, the show that inspires you to put yourself first.
Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness. Learning to love yourself on the path to happiness.
My name's Jenny Field, and here we are on another episode of the Learning to Love Yourself podcast. And I have today with me the very lovely Pam Morrissey, who is actually based in Canada. Is that right? Whereabouts in Canada are you?
I'm in Labrador, so far east.
Far east. So without further ado, let me get Pam to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about the reason why she started using self-care techniques.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Jenny. I am pumped to talk to you today. I am a life coach and mindfulness mentor, as you said, living in Labrador, Canada, and I'm really devoted to helping women live their best lives and just be happy and healthy and fulfilled and feeling amazing every single day. So self-care is a huge part of that. It's a huge part of what I do. And it's just so important to feeling and living well. It's just a non-negotiable. You can't do without. And it's been a really amazing journey to get here. And I'm just so grateful to be having this conversation with you.
So what brought you to realizing that actually you needed self-care in your life?
I was really not taking care of myself at all. So at the age of 30, I got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and had the scary conversation with my doctors about what that means and how it can affect your life and your kidneys and how you can die. And it was like the most frightening wake-up call. Yeah, it was, I'll never forget being in that office and being like, oh gosh, this can't be. I'm too young. I have too much to experience. I have too much to do. I can't live this way. So fear was my motivator originally. I was just so scared to cut my life short. So I was like, well, I have to turn this around. So it really began with the physical and taking care of myself physically. But I soon realized that wasn't enough, that I really needed that mind and spirit connection to bring it all full circle and to feel as incredible as I wanted to feel.
So what do you do? Do you have a daily routine, or do you just pick and choose when you want to do your self-care?
So it varies a lot now. When I first started, I was very structured because I felt like I needed that structure. It was right. I was doing nothing. So I had to start somewhere. So I allowed it to be really simple. So it started with 10 minutes of movement a day. And sometimes that's still my go-to. I'm just going to move my body for 10 minutes and let that be enough. 10 minutes often turns into way more than that. For me, it really is about ticking certain boxes. So movement is a must do every day. I have to move my body every day. It just deserves that kind of love. It deserves that kind of respect. If I want to feel as amazing as I want to feel, I need to move my body. So movement is non-negotiable. Doing something just because I love it, in service of nothing else, just because I love it, just because it brings me joy, just because it brings a smile to my face. So that's different every day. Sometimes it can be reading. Sometimes it can be a long bath. Sometimes it can be connecting with other women and, meeting up with a friend, grabbing coffee, going to my favorite coffee shop. It varies so much. It really depends on what I want and what my body wants. And really having this deep connection to my body and getting out of my head and into my body and asking her, what do you want today? What do you need from me today? What's going to help you feel your best today? That connection. Yeah, that connection is so important. And I feel like the piece that everyone misses because they're so in their head about it, right? It's all about, I need to do A, B, C, D, but no, it isn't. It isn't that at all. Yeah.
It's listening to yourself, isn't it?
Yes. It's that connection to yourself and what you really need. And sometimes that's rest. sometimes the best self-care you can give yourself is rest, is really unplugging from the to-do list that is 18,000 feet long and saying, no, not today. Not today. Today I choose me. Today I choose to just be and rest and be in this space. It's amazing.
And I can hear some people saying that's okay if you're self-employed and you can choose that. But actually, that's still, you're still able to do that around your day job, aren't you? Because actually, when you're not at work or when you're in your breaks, you just choose you. You just choose to be rather than doing all the rushing, all the things that you've got to do. You're saying, I'm coming home and I'm just going to be. I'll put the kids to bed and I'm just going to be.
Yes. And I was in a corporate job for more than 20 years. So, and I started this while I was fully employed and running a business on the side. So I was doing both things at the same time, which is why I knew I needed it, because I was so burnt out and so exhausted and would have these weeks of motivation and willpower and excitement and joy. And then these weeks where I would crash and burn because I wasn't consistently pouring into myself. I wasn't consistently giving to myself. I was just burning the candle at both ends.
Yeah.
So it was really, I started that routine. Like I started getting up, my day job started at 9. I started getting up at 5:30 in the morning to make sure that I had, and I'm not saying that you have to do that because you don't, but I learned by doing it 15 minutes at a time. So I used to get up at 8, then I got up at 7:45, then I got up at 7:30, then I got up at 7:15. By changing it 15 minutes at a time, I realized that spaciousness really allowed me to feel my best. So it's about finding what's right for you and what feels good in your body, right? Super.
That's really hard, isn't it, when you first start working with somebody because of the fact that they want you to tell them what to do.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's, for me, when you're talking about giving those 15 minutes, so I'm up earlier now because the hours are lighter. So the lighter the days, the earlier I get up because I like to let my body come to with the natural light wherever possible. In the depths of winter, that's not so possible. But I just think actually my body, that's what we're designed to do, is we're designed to wake up for daylight and go to sleep for darkness, aren't we? You know, so as much natural stuff that I can do for my body, the best.
Yes. And recognizing that there are seasons for everything and that it's okay for it to look different in the winter than it does in the summer and to look different every day. Like it doesn't have to be the same. Like it doesn't need to be structured. You can play with it. It's just, have fun and enjoy and allow yourself to feel into it as well. Like, because just ticking the thing off the list, you already have enough of that to do. We want to be connected to what you're doing and feel it in your heart, in your body, in your soul, and really allow it to fill you up and nourish you. Like it's amazing.
So tell me, how important is it for you to have the right people around you? Does that make a difference to you as to how you feel?
Oh, absolutely. The people that I surround myself with, super particular. I am super particular. I have a brand new circle of people around me, people who get it, people who understand, people who want the same kind of things for themselves, people who are not stuck in the victim story of life is too hard, it's too messy, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy. Nah, you got all the time that you need if you are prioritizing what's important. So I had to surround myself with people who feel the same and who aren't stuck in any kind of victim story. And it does mean that there are some friendships that went to the wayside and, they're no longer in my life anymore. And that's too bad. I wish them all the best. But it's important to me to have a circle who supports and uplifts me in this journey and who's going to hold me on those days when it's sometimes still feels hard. Like it sometimes still feels hard. So you need to have that support, that love, that cradle that you can kind of fall back into and say, okay, I'm safe, I'm held, I'm good here.
Again, with that, there's no good or bad people. There's no right or wrong people. It's what's right or wrong for you, for how that feels, isn't it? Because it's not a tick. It's not a tick list. It's this feels right for me. This doesn't feel right for me. I know I have some people in my world that I can happily be around when I'm in a particular type of mood, energy. Mm-hmm. But on other days when I don't have that energy, no, not for me today. I can't do that. And that's nothing about them. That's all about me. That's all about me.
Absolutely. Self-care is all about you. And that's why people struggle with it so much, because we're conditioned to be here for others, to do for others, to give to the exclusion of yourself. So it feels selfish to give into this need of loving yourself. But it's actually a gift to everyone in your life. When you are fully resourced, when you are at your best, you have more to give. You unlock more time. You unlock more energy. You feel so good that you just have more available to give to everyone. It's a gift to everyone. Everyone says it, but you don't really get it until you're in it and until you start doing it and experiencing it.
But it's also that when you're in it, what you also notice is the fact that the other people around you are kind of they're behaving differently. So, if you've got struggling with your relationships with your children, actually when you start looking after yourself, you find that your children react differently to you because you're giving out a different vibration. And that was for me on my personal journey was the moment where I was like, whoa, okay. Lots of things are working better that I didn't actually ask for. I didn't ask anybody else to change, but actually the interaction between us has completely changed.
Yeah, so they're either going to rise up to where you are, or they're going to vibrate out. And either way, it's the right thing for you if you are feeling amazing about it and feeling good in your body and feeling amazing about who you are.
So tell me a little bit. Here we are. We're sat on Zoom, which is, it's amazing, isn't it? To connect from Canada to the UK. I just love that. But in this day where we spend so much time connected to electronic devices, does that mean for you that self-care is even more important, time away from all of that?
Absolutely. Like we're so much in the electronic world that sometimes you don't realize that you need to be disconnected from it until you step away. So I love social media. I love being connected. I am a generator in human design. So like responding is like my jam. I love fun conversations. I love interacting with people. Like it's amazing. If I can do it at home in my pajamas, even better. I love being home in my pajamas. But I did notice when I just went on this recent vacation that I didn't want to be online. I wanted to be interactive in my life and to be really present in what I was doing and to really immerse myself into my experiences. So stepping away from the electronics and into your life and really paying attention to all the abundance and what you've created already and the amazing things that are already around you really plays into that whole self-care piece. Like gratitudes are a huge part of my self-care. I do a gratitude journal every day. Non-negotiable part of my day is gratitude journaling. I think everyone who's successful does that. Even if it's verbally, I think everyone successful does that. It's so important. But to be really present, because it's easy to use social media to kind of check out and to escape and to run away. And I make sure that I don't use social media in that way. But I did notice that even when I took myself out of my normal environment, I was even less connected, and it allowed me to be more fully immersed in what I was doing. And it just felt so good.
It's become a thing, isn't it? That we have to connect online every day. And it's something that I quite enjoy. I quite enjoy doing it. But I also really, really enjoy that moment where you go, okay, just peace. Just, I'm a big one for trees. I like to touch, feel trees. And because when I hold a tree, when you fully concentrate, when you let go of everything else and concentrate on a tree, you can feel the life force going through that, But it does mean you've got to let go of everything else, and it's kind of a telling thing for me. If I go for a walk and I touch a tree and I'm not feeling anything, it's like I'm not in the space. I'm not in this right space, because once I get into that space, I can feel it. And it's different for different trees and it's different for different size trees. And it's just something that once you find that, I think I need to go and find a tree now because I need to feel this. And it's very grounding as well, which is so, so important, isn't it? Do you find that you do things to ground yourself every day?
Grounding is super important for me, like super important. And nature is a huge part of that. I'm a real outdoor girl. I live in the middle of nowhere. I'm surrounded by forests. Like, so it's ingrained in my soul. This is how I was raised. This is where I was raised.
Yeah.
So it was always this, if you're struggling with something, put them in water or take them inside. Like, it's one of those, it's really allowing yourself to be. And I make sure that I'm away from electronics when I'm doing that. When I'm with friends and family, the phone is not on or near me. I want to be fully immersed and grounded and just feel into this beautiful moment that you have, like, and allow yourself to feel the wind on your face and the sun pouring on you and just breathing in that fresh air and allowing yourself to feel really rooted to the earth. Cause sometimes we can be up here floating around, like in your head, thinking about the next thing to do. And this is why, like, I'm such an advocate of like not wearing earphones when you're outdoors. Allow yourself to just be. And sometimes I do that still. Like sometimes I will take my headphones, especially on a day where I'm feeling kind of off. I'll take them, but pretty much by the end, they're out and I'm immersed where I am because nature is medicine in the same way that movement is medicine. Like it fills you up and it allows you to feel like your issues, your problems, your concerns aren't quite as big as you may think they are in the whole grand scheme of things. Like we're just part of this beautiful tapestry of life. And I just love being immersed in nature and grounding myself in that way.
I don't know if you've noticed as well, but since I've got into this whole way of being with my self-care and understanding myself more, validating myself more, knowing who I am, I actually find that I don't need all of the other things that I needed to make myself feel. I have a much simpler life. I wander down to the local park or wander down through the local fields is as exciting for me as going out for an evening used to be because I just don't need that stimulation in a way that I used to. It is purely I can see a nice tree and wander off to the tree. We have a family holiday each year and we all look forward to that moment where we can just sit there and go, we don't have to do, the Wi-Fi is fairly useless there. The phones don't work terribly well there. And it kind of forces us all to just sit back. Board games come out, the jigsaws come out. It's just a simpler life, isn't it?
It is because you're at peace with yourself. You're at home in your body. You're at home with who you are. And when you achieve that level of calm and peace within yourself and know that you are fully capable of handling anything that comes your way, because that's the other benefit of pouring into yourself in this way, of really filling yourself up consistently every day, is realizing how resilient you really are, how strong you really are, how capable you really are of achieving anything that you want to achieve and overcoming anything that comes your way. Like it's this beautiful gift that I want everyone to experience. And it can start so simply. Like it doesn't need to be a complete overhaul because I know it can feel sometimes really overwhelming to be like, oh gosh, like this is not what I do. This is not anywhere near the life that I'm experiencing. It wasn't what I was experiencing either. So but it's small steps that add up to these big leaps over time and just help you feel so at home with yourself. And that impacts all areas of your life.
You've just got to learn a little bit at a time. And when you suddenly look back and realize actually how great your journey's been, how many little steps that you have done, that you kind of stop noticing the little ones after a while, don't you? Because they become easier and easier. My journey started with one simple affirmation, and now I have a day full of gratitudes and affirmations and breath work and being out in nature. But I still have a full-time job. It's just a way of life rather than taking up time, if you like.
Yes, it becomes who you are. It's not about
Excellent.
what you do. It becomes part of who you are. And it's becomes the best part of who you are and the most exciting part and the part that you look forward to. And everything in your life becomes more joyful and easier and all that stuff, like that resistance that you're feeling day in and day out, where it's like, what else can go wrong today? That all disappears from your life. It just goes away because you have a different way of looking at things, a different perspective, and you feel calm inside and at ease with yourself. Amazing.
So tell me now, where are we now with the diabetes?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
No more diabetes now.
I still have diabetes. I'll never not have diabetes, but I don't, it's no longer an issue for me. It doesn't define me. It's
Right.
something like, it is just something that I have and that I have to be aware of, and being more connected to my body allows me to take better care of that as well, to really pay attention to when I'm falling off track. Like I can physically feel when I've done too much, like when I've had too many carbs or when I've gone too many days without enough water or something like that. Like, I can physically feel it in my body. It does not define me. It is not, I'm no longer concerned about it. I'm happier and healthier than I've ever been. So
Love
no,
it.
not a concern.
Love
Yeah.
it. And that's not because you've self-medicated with a whole load of tablets, and that's because of the fact that you just took care of yourself from the inside.
Yes, absolutely. It's been a journey of self-love
Wonderful.
and self-care. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Amazing.
So tell us a little bit about what you actually do. What do you do for people?
So I really help you find what works for you. So I will help you set up self-care rituals, but really it's this holistic approach to your life and really creating a life that excites you. And that looks different for everybody. So it really is about finding the right rhythm of your life for you, really taking you out of the autopilot of your days, the hustle, the grind, the push, because I know that so many of you out there have these big, beautiful dreams for your life, like this huge vision of what you want to accomplish. And it's like, I don't have time to slow down and take care of myself as I go towards this dream. Like, I just need to get there. But you need to enjoy your experience. Like, you need to enjoy the experience of getting there. It's not just about the finish line. It's about how it felt along the way and how you feel in your body. Because you're not going to sustain it if you get there by like white knuckling your way to success. If you're dragging yourself across that finish line, all you're going to do when you get there is like crash and burn and just so what if you just got to take care of yourself along the way and enjoyed every moment of the journey and overcame challenges with ease and grace? It really is about making life more fun and making life easier. That is my role, is to make it more fun, to make it easy, and to help you overcome the toxic behaviors that are keeping you in the same repeating patterns and that are keeping you living the same day over and over again, where you just don't feel like you're making any progress. I'm here to get you the result, to help you, get to where you want to go, where you're feeling amazing about who you are, about how you're showing up, about what you're doing, and you're feeling amazing in your body when you do it. And I think there's this misconception of it has to look a certain way or be a certain way, and you have to fit yourself into some kind of box. And that's not what it's about. Like, it's about finding your way, about finding what works for you, about embodying what you want for your life and not caring what that looks like from the outside looking in. For many, many years, like nothing in my physical world looked different. I mean, I physically looked a little bit different. I lost a bunch of weight and stuff, but other than that, like, I had the same job, I had the same husband, I had the same house, but how I showed up in my day to day, how I reacted to what was going on in my life, how I felt was completely different because I was taking care of myself, and it changes your experience. So I'm all about giving women the best possible experience as they go for what makes them happy and what lights them up and what excites them. That's what I do.
And obviously, you're talking to us from Labrador in Canada, but your work is online, so you can connect with anybody anywhere in the world, just the same as I do.
Yes, it's so amazing. That's what I love. Like, I love that I've met you because of the online world. Like, it's amazing to me. Like, I love this connection.
We would never have met if it wasn't for the online world. So, there is some amazing things about the electronics. It's all about balance again, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Finding that work-life balance, right? Like making sure that it all feels good to you and it feels good in your body. And and that's really what it all comes down to is how does it feel to you? And making sure that it feels really, really, really good.
And it's what it truly feels, not what you think it should feel. Because often I have clients telling me, and I'm like, okay, and how does that, what does that feel like? Not these nice adjectives that you're giving me, but what does that actually feel like? To get people to sit back and take a bit of a step back and really think about it. Because like you, I know my body will tell me this is not okay. I'm not okay. And I don't like that feeling anymore. I'm really addicted to that really good feeling now. So what a not nice feeling. That feeling comes along and I'm backing off. Right, what do I need to find? What do I need to do? Where do I need to be to make this feel the way I want it to feel? Pam, it's been absolutely fabulous chatting to you. We will put all the details of how to get in contact with you down in the underneath of where the podcast comes out. And hopefully, let's get together again and do a bit of an update in a few months' time. That would be amazing.
Oh, I would love that. Yes, let's do it. So excited.
Perfect. Thank you ever so much, Pam.
Thank you.
The next new moon is just around the corner, and new moons are all about new beginnings and new goals. So it's the perfect time to download my new moon vision board and identify what you would like to achieve this new moon phase. Click the link below. Thanks for listening today. If you'd like to know more, you can find all the links down below. Oh, and don't forget to press subscribe so you can catch the next one. See you soon.